Whoa Bye.
Hello guys, I'm Van Jazz and this time we will get into the darkness while analyzing some of the most haunted places in the world. Some of them by ghosts, perturbed souls, memories lost in time, unexplainable entities, things from outer space and many more mysteries. Hold on to the first thing you have handy because you're about to get 100% frightened with this amazing list of the 10 most scary places in the world. Number 10. The Langham Hotel, London. Europe's first grand hotel wowed European royalty with electric light, hydraulic lifts, and air conditioning when it opened in 1865, and it still pulls fans in from around the world. Some of those are ghost hunters. The rumors go that room 333 is the hub of all the activity. Apparently, a man in Victorian clothing is often spotted there, while other ghosts have been reportedly seen roaming in the corridors. Number 9. The Desert of Marfa, Texas. Marfa, a small and desolated desert city in the West Texas, is known as an arts hub. The Chinati Foundation, done by Donald Judd, displays huge indoor and outdoor installations on an old army base. The Ballroom of Marfa Arts Center hosts exhibitions, concerts, and the Marfa Myths Cultural Festival. Outside town is a viewing platform from which the mysterious orbs known as the Marfa Lights phenomenon can sometimes be seen. The Marfa Mystery Lights, or Ghost Lights, are said to be first noticed over 100 years ago by American Indians. More recent than that are recordings by cowboys and settlers of the rugged West Texas desert. Today, the mysterious odd phenomenon can be seen on most nights at dusk. Some describe lights as having the ability to change color and dance up and down the landscape or horizon in the distance of the tourist viewing area. There are skeptics that say they are just car lights. Others say they are objects from outer space. What do you think? Number 8. Poveglia Island, Italy. Poveglia, a tiny island near the northern coast of Italy, is said to be the most haunted island in the world. It was an exile for people who got bubonic plague that arrived in 1348. They were sent to die there. Abandoned and forbidden to be visited, it's said its soil is composed of 50% human ash of those thousands that were burned there. It was also a mental asylum where illegal experiments and torture took place, as well as a series of bloody battles. According to local people, screams are still heard, and the chimes of the bell, it's a nightmare where visitors feel an oppressive, evil feeling as they step on the island, where fleeting shadows seem to move in the dark. Nowadays, if you were allowed to visit the island, you would hardly find someone willing to take you there for fear, and even fishermen refuse to fish near the area, horrified to drag up human remains which are said to be around. Number 7. Fairmont Bank Springs, Canada. Back to the late 1920s, a bride of her wedding day became one of the famous specters residing in the Fairmont Bank Springs. She even featured on her own stamp and coin. The young couple was getting married at this hotel, and the bride, attired with her wedding gown, descended the hotel's marble staircases. Something caught her heel, causing her to slip and fall. She died on those steps. Since then, staff of the hotel and visitors report to have seen a veiled figure moving up and down the stairs, or seeing a figure in a wedding dress dancing in the ballroom upstairs. Another one of the detected entities is Sam Macaulay, an old Scotsman who has had bellman during the 60s and 70s. He is still circulating around the hotel after his death in 1975. There was one night where two elderly women calling the bell desk for assistance after they found their key would not work. By the time the regular bellman arrived at their door, it was unlocked. The woman said an older bellman in a plaid jacket matching Sam's description exactly have helped them. Sam has been haunting his old office on the mezzanine floor as well as other reported apparitions, and ever since, guests in the room have reported being awakened by screaming by some unseen entity. Number 6. The Winchester Mystery House. Despite its cheerful appearance, this massive California mansion's history is etched with tragedy and lots of ghosts. Sarah Winchester, the wife of the rifle-making magnate, designed and the construction of the Victorian mansion in 1886, 5 years after her husband died. Overcome with grief, Sarah looked out for a medium who could commune with the dead. Through this lady, William told her that there were many souls stuck in this plane as a result of the blood money the family had made off the Winchester rifles. He warned her that the ghosts would seek her out. William said that Sarah must build a home for herself and for all the spirits of the victims of this terrible weapon. She employed a crew of carpenters who split shifts so construction could go on a day and night for 38 years. The work only stopped after Sarah died. It is said that Sarah issued many bizarre demands to her builders. There's a labyrinth used to confuse the ghosts, allowing Sarah to escape from them. No one is sure how many rooms the house held, but the gigantic house has a lot of going on, with staircases leading nowhere, doors with walls behind them, confusing maze-like hallways, and many more things. The house wasn't opulent as it was odd. It is known as one of the most haunted places in the United States. Number 5. Bermuda Triangle. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle began on the 5th of December 1945, when a group of 5 aircraft mysteriously disappeared. Flight 19 was a routine training mission of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers. The doomed flight left Lauderdale and 10 passed to a clear winter's afternoon. They vanished into thin air. Fearing the worst, a Naval Air Search rescue plane took off into the darkening skies 20 minutes later at 7:47 p.m. The rescue plane also disappeared. After a massive search, no wreckage was found and nothing was ever heard from them. After 75 years, this unsolved mystery, as well as other thousands of ships and planes disappearances that followed, has sustained the wildest theories about what strange forces could be at work out there, where the seas between Miami, the island of Bermuda, and Puerto Rico form the sinister Bermuda Triangle. There is a long list of incidents, both of airplanes and boats, that have vanished on that area, never found again. Would you be able to travel knowing you will pass through the triangle? Number 4. The SS America. Speaking of boats, there was this ocean liner built in 1940 in the United States. It had different owners from different countries and names before its wrecking in 1994. It served mainly as passenger service. The last time it was sold was to become a 5-star hotel ship in 1993. On the New Year's Eve, the American Star left Greece with some problems. Its propellers put on the deck and the need to be carried by Ukrainian tug Neftegas 67. They entered a thunderstorm in the Atlantic, and after rescuers were sent to help and several attempts to make the ship go on, the Neftegas cut the ship loose free. The crew and the passengers were rescued by helicopter. The American Star was left drifting at the wheel of the sea. Passengers who used the ship from its time of splendor, and also the ones that use it in its time of great deterioration, seemed to travel like dark shadows in this sinister ghost liner, as it was called due to the lively presences, but it was totally empty. The American Star finally found land by itself, underground off the west coast of Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. The ship ended with the front part stuck on a sandbar. Then it split in half. The stern part sank while the bow was intact and it's still there. It was declared a total loss on July 6, 1994. Number 3. Alcatraz Haunted Prison. Alcatraz functioned as a federal prison. Creepy stories derived from its remote austerity and contributed to its legend, but the spooky myths began long before the famous penitentiary opened in 1934. Today, Alcatraz is considered one of the most haunted places in America, thanks to all the death, torture, and misery that went on behind its walls. From beatings to murders to a handful of escape attempts made by Alcatraz prisoners. Soldiers, inmates, and guards have all perished on Alcatraz Island. Whether these were murders or suicide, many say the ghosts of the dead contribute to the many Alcatraz prison horror lore. Some people reported feeling frozen fingers touching their necks as soon as they stepped in. Supernatural sightings on Alcatraz are the result of the horrifying incidents and prison conditions. Al Capone, dungeons, and one intensely haunted cell are just a few of the chilling ghost stories to be found on the Rock, as it was also called. Number 2. Villa Minetta, Italy. One of the most sinister places is one of those Italian asylums where patients were treated with the most inhumane way possible, and even children were doomed to grow up here. A remarkable mansion that now is rotting away, where the richest man of all of Italy used to live. This psychiatric hospital inaugurated in 1876 and has been abandoned for 20 years now. An unbelievable amount of items were left behind. One simple fight on the streets could be enough to bring you behind the bars of this asylum. So many were not even sick. More terrifying was a sector of orphan children. Back then, people thought electric shocks and lobotomy were the only way to heal mental illness, but instead of curing the patients, they became limp. If that wasn't a consequence of operations, people probably starved or froze to death here, until the horror ended in 1978 when the hospital finally closed down. The souls of all these tortured people are still felt around the area. Number 1. Island of the Dolls, Xochimilco, Mexico. Despite its history and status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Xochimilco has secrets hidden among the many water canals. South of Mexico City, buried deep in the canals of Xochimilco, you can find a small island with a sad background. The island is known as Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of the Dolls. The dolls are threatening, even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark they are particularly disturbing. It is dedicated to the lost souls of a poor girl who met her fate too soon in strange circumstances. It is said that a girl was found drowned many years ago on this island, and that the dolls are possessed by her spirit. Local legend says that the dolls move their heads and arms and even open their eyes. Foreign witnesses claim they had heard the dolls whispering to each other. If you have stories or evidence of one of these places being paranormal, please share in the comments below. And if you know other places with strange entities, let us know so we can get information about them. Maybe they can be part of our next edition on terrifying places on Earth. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and keep in tune in Whoa Viral, our amazing channel. Whoa Viral.